These are your themes of the week, starting on February 12th. You will need these to complete the reading assignments with Dancing with the Devil, It's All Over, Topless on TV, and any others that I specify. So the notes that I'm using on here were taken from a class that I had last year. You may fill these in as we go. Right, so our first theme that we're going to focus on is coming of age. Okay, so coming of age is anytime you have a character that's growing up or becomes old enough to do something. Really, there's more examples of coming age than that, but we'll discuss that as we go along in our unit of themes. Okay, so other examples of coming of age would be the loss of innocence. Usually people think about this when they're talking about sex, but there's a lot of ways that you can lose innocence, and really it happens anytime that you gain a new experience. It's not always a negative thing unless somebody's forcing you to lose some kind of innocence. For example, I could choose to find out what it's like to jump from a plane with a parachute. I would be losing my innocence of what it is like to fall from the sky, but it's not a bad thing because I chose. Whereas if I were in a plane and somebody pushed me out of the plane, and then I'm finding out what it's like to fall out of the plane, then losing my innocence in that sense is not a very good thing, and probably will not end up very well for myself. Okay, so then we also have our second theme of escape, which would be like running away, getting away. For example, you might escape from routine. So maybe you're getting into a habit of eating cereal every morning, and one day you decide to make yourself an omelet, and by golly, it's the best decision you've ever made because you broke your routine. You escaped from boring. Okay, you might escape from life. That could be as serious as dying, or it could be as light as simply turning on your music and escaping from life for a while. We could literally escape from prison. Okay, I don't think I have to explain that one too much. Or we could even escape from family pressures. Okay, so then our third theme, good versus evil, is a very, very common theme seen in just about every story that exists. Okay, and I drew this yin and yang over here to represent good versus evil. So you might be able to figure out that the white represents the good and the black represents the bad. But inside of the good, the white, there's a little dot of black. Inside the black, there's a little dot of good. And basically what this means is that even when you're in good, there's always a little bit of bad in every good decision. And in every bad situation, there's a little bit of good. Okay, so good versus evil, we see that usually as one surviving despite the other. For example, good can survive without evil, but maybe evil can't survive without good, or maybe the two need each other. Okay. Also, when one triumphs or wins over one or the other. Usually good ends up winning in American movies, but in foreign films, a lot of times evil ends up winning. Okay, so then our fourth theme of love, this could be anything from caring to intimacy to being patient, not jealous. There's a very famous poem taken from the Bible where it talks about how love is caring, it is kind, it is patient, it does not boast, it's a whole bunch of things. So ways that we see that in stories is sometimes love fades, so people kind of fall out of love with each other, or it's just not as strong as it used to be. A lot of times love is blind, which means that you can be so in love with somebody that you don't realize the negative aspects of them until it's too late. And love can overcome all obstacles. Okay, so then kind of like love, but quite a bit different, is lust, which is wanting something badly. So again, kind of like losing innocence from up top, people always think of sex when it comes to lust, but it's more than that. It's lusting for anything that you want badly, whether it's something that you should have or shouldn't have. Okay, so for example, lusting for power. Somebody might very badly want to be the President of the United States, and they go to such extremes that they cheat and they lie until they get into that position. That's lust that drove them there. And then the obvious lust for sex, seeing somebody that's kind of cute or somebody that you think is hot and then wanting nothing more than to date them, even if it isn't for sex. All right, so those will be our themes that we focus on for this week.